Welcome back to A New York State of Mind. Hi, I'm your host, Ralph Miranda, joined by our producer and co-host, Nathan Miranda. The Yankees just concluded a 3-game series with the Miami Marlins, their first home series of the new season. The Yankees won 2 out of 3 games with the Marlins. They won Friday afternoon 8-2. They won Saturday in comeback fashion 9-7 and lost Sunday 7-6 after allowing the Marlins to come back and take a lead when the Yankees had a lead. So the Yankees now sit at 7-2, best record in the American League, leading the American League East. They start a series tonight. This is Tuesday, April 7th, with the Athletics. Athletics don't have a city yet. That's why they're just called the Athletics. In a couple of years, they'll be called the Vegas or Las Vegas Athletics. But right now, the game is 1-1 with the Yankees and the Athletics. Cam Schlittler's on the mound. He's struggling a little bit right now. In fact, now the Athletics are up 2-1. And I know our talking is the Marlins, but he's been struggling a little bit. He's given up 2 earned runs right now. So not quite the stellar outing for Schlittler that he had his first 2 starts, especially against a team that really hasn't seen him because they haven't played the Athletics since Schlittler was called up last summer. But I digress. We're talking about the Marlins series right now. So again, the Yankees winning 2 out of 3. First game was pretty much flawless for the Yankees. I mean, an 8-2 win. Will Warren did not pitch very well in that game. Went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 2 earned runs. The bullpen was pretty good. The hitting wasn't bad. Judge had 2 hits. Rice had 2 hits, including a home run. Judge hit a home run as well. So the Yankees were able to win. But again, Nathan, the problem with the Yankees, as we've talked about, and you're starting to see it still in the early part of the season, is production from the bottom half of the lineup. You're going to get in situations in the season, and you're especially going to get in those situations in the playoffs where you're going to have runners on base in key situations, and you're going to have your 6, 7, 8, 9 hitters up. And that, to me, is the problem.
Yeah, I mean, most teams have that problem. Kind of have that problem, right? I mean, the bottom of the lineup is the bottom of the lineup for a reason. So, I mean, if you're talking about a lineup or a team that hits top to bottom, you're talking about like the best team in baseball, World Series type of champion type of team. You know what I mean? So there's only like one of those every year. You know what I mean? But I know with the Yankees, we're expecting a World Series, and as we should, because they're the New York Yankees, right? So,
right.
I think if this was any other team, there wouldn't be any concern because they're the best division, they're the best record in their league, right?
Right.
And their pitching has been really good. So I think we're just concerned because it's the New York Yankees, if that makes sense. And this is a Yankees podcast, so rightfully so. I'm just saying, I'm trying to keep our concerns in perspective, I guess.
Right, right, and I understand that. I mean, I think that's fair. I guess what I'm trying to say though is you look at the let's look at the batting averages of these guys. Okay, I mean we're going to talk about the bottom half of the lineup here, so I'm going to pull that up real quick and we're going to take a look at that. So this was after the Sunday game with the Marlins. Okay, the game the Yankees lost 7-6. So after that game, these were your batting averages. And again, I know it's early, but you're looking at guys now that have had, 9 games. So that's at least 36 at-bats for these guys that are starters, most of them, all right? Grisham's hitting 172, Judge 250, Bellinger 267, Rice is hitting 370, Stanton's hitting 394. That's your top 5 guys, okay? Now, Chisholm, 194, Wells, 167, Caballero, 129, McMahon, .087, okay? I know it's early, but again, that's an issue to me, is that you're right. Most teams have that problem, but what I'm trying to say is World Series champions. Let's look at World Series champions, okay? Your top guys are going to hit, but your bottom guys are going to hit 240, 250, right? 255, 260. That's kind of what you're hoping for. I'm going to pull up the Dodgers after their Sunday game. They beat the Nationals 8-6 to move to 8-2, the Dodgers, okay? So let's look at their batting averages real quickly, okay? Ohtani, 273. Rojas, this is in order, batting first through down the line. Rojas, 263. Hernandez, 345. Freeman, 237. Pagas, 471. Call in right field, 500. Espinal at third base, 167. Rushing the catcher, 400. The backup catcher, 276. Tucker, 273. Do you see a difference in those numbers? I do, from the Yankee guys, okay? So that's what I'm talking about. Now, you can say, well, the Dodgers are 8-2, the Yankees were 7-2 after that game. Yeah, but what I'm talking about is production. I'm not saying great production, but I'm saying 240, 250. If you hit 240, 250, okay, that means let's say you hit 250, you're getting a hit 1 out of every 4 at bats, okay? For a bottom guy in the lineup, that's not unheard of. I mean, that would be welcome, okay? But like I said, you look at the Yankees and you're looking at guys that are hitting, miserably. We went through it, right? 194, 167, 129. Esquera hadn't got a hit yet. McMahon, .087. That's what I'm more concerned about than anything else. And I think, that's got to be corrected. It's not going to be, but that's got to be corrected because you can't have that. Now, pitching wise, I mean, goes back to it kind of pyramids off that. When you're getting great pitching, you can afford some of that. Fried had 2 great outings. He struggled Sunday against the Marlins. He only went 6 2/3, gave up 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, and 3 walks. All right. Tonight, Schlittler's struggling a little bit in the game against the Athletics. Not terribly, but he's not his old self. So, and your bullpen is not producing regularly like they should. And you're going to have bad games. Let's face it. If you win 100 games, you're going to lose 62. Okay, I understand that. And I'm not talking about a snapshot of right now. I'm talking about an inherent problem that I saw last year that I don't see getting fixed this year. The reason I don't see it getting fixed is if the names in that lineup were different. All right, if these were guys the Yankees got late, made moves to get, I'd say, okay, let's kind of see how it plays out. But you have a track record on these guys. You have a track record from last year, okay? And that's what I don't see. Let's say they would have made the move and got Alonso at first base, okay? Now you could have Alonso hitting, say 4th, okay? You move Rice down to 5th at catcher. You move Stanton to 6th. Now you got 6 guys, okay, that can hit pretty well there, all right? And then you're looking at your 7, 8, and 9 guys, which they could have made some moves to get some guys that hit. I mean, there's a guy they got. Where is he? Let me see. Randall Grochik. Okay, excuse me. By the way, the Athletics are up 3-1 now in the middle of the 3rd, so it doesn't look too good. Where is he? This is a guy, by the way, that they got right before they broke camp to go to the beginning of the season. Let me make sure I get his name right. I don't want to miss it. Yeah, Grichuk, pinch runner, designated hitter. When if it is a designated hitter, guy they got that's when they got him, the comment from Cashman was, "This is a guy the Yankees have been trying to get for 2 years." Well, let's take a look at him, Randall Grichuk. Okay, give me just a minute while I look up his baseball reference page, because I think this is going to be a little telling, okay? Okay, so Randall Grichuk, all right? He's been in the league since 2014, okay? Started with the Cardinals, spent 4 years with them, went to the Blue Jays for 4 or 5 years, went to Colorado in 2022. In 2023, he was with Colorado, got traded to Los Angeles Angels, went to Arizona in 2024, and then in 2025, he was with Arizona for a while, went to the Royals, and then, of course, the Yankees got him this year. So he's played now 13 years, okay? 13 years. His batting average is .250, all right? He had some power early in his career, but he hasn't really hit many home runs in the last 3 or 4 years. Okay, he's not a big doubles hitter per se. I mean, he struck out 1,200 times over the course of 13 years. strikes out quite a bit, actually. At least early on in the season, early on in his career, he did when he played more games. Lately, since about 2023, he's been pretty much a backup because he hasn't played a lot of the games. But my point there, his OPS is 762, which is not very good. His slugging is 464. So I don't understand why you pick up a guy like that. I mean, what does he do for you? Okay, he plays mostly the outfield. I mean, he hasn't played anywhere but the outfield in his career. So he's a backup outfielder. Now, here's my point. You remember Jason Dominguez, right? Okay, he was the young guy. They called him the Martian, okay? He came up in 2023, was lights out for a while, then got hurt, okay? Missed the rest of that season, missed a lot of 2024. Then he got healthy. And last year, he played pretty well. I mean, I think he hit about 270, 280. He hit 357 this spring. They sent him to the minors, all right? Because they said, quote unquote, we don't have room for him in the outfield, right? Because you had Bellinger, you had Grisham, and you had Judge. But then you pick up this Grisham guy as your backup outfielder. Or Grichuk as your backup outfielder that I just went through explaining his career to you. Why did you pick him up, all right? A guy that you quote unquote have been after for 2 years, which I don't see any reason why you'd be after him. But you send Dominguez down to the minors because you said he needs more at-bats. Well, to me, that's the guy you should have kept. Let him be your backup outfielder, okay? And I think he should be playing a whole lot more because I don't think Grisham's going to have the season that he had last year. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Is I don't see the Yankees really doing the moves they make are not moves that would lead me to believe they're trying to make their team better. And I know they know a whole lot more than I do. I'm not a GM. I mean, but I'm just looking at it from a performance standpoint. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think that's valid. Again, if they were having these struggles from the bottom of their lineup, from guys like you said that they had moved around or tried to improve the lineup and they were having these struggles, that's one thing. But like you said, the bigger problem with the Yankees is that they knew what they had, they know what these guys are, and they didn't do anything about it.
Right.
And they're getting the same they're getting the same type of production or maybe a little less than they usually get. So
right.
And again, if the Yankees are content with getting to the second round of the playoffs, getting to ALCS, and that's it, fine. If that's what they're content in doing, then this line should be able to do that, right? They have the best record in the American League, but they should not be content with it. No team should be content with that. The goal should be to win the World Series every year.
Right.
And that's the problem, So,
well, let me add this on too. Grichuk is 34 years old. Okay, like I said, he's been in the league since 2014. So he's 34 years old, he's hitting 250. Okay, with a poor slugging percentage, a poor OPS, and a lot of strikeouts. Dominguez, on the other hand, is 23. Okay, he's only played 3 years, like I said, 2023, 24, and 25. But his batting average was 258 his first year. He only played 8 games in 24 by the time he got back from injury, 179, 257 last year, okay? So already he's as good as Grichuk, and he's young. So why are you and don't tell me is one of the knocks on Dominguez was his defense, okay? Well, you're telling me that you picked up a guy who's 34 years old. It's like the McMahon problem. You picked up a guy who's 34 years old because he plays good defense, okay? Well, how many opportunities does a guy in left field have, all right? Probably not a whole lot. I mean, outside of a single, if a guy hits a single, all you can do is take it, hit the cutoff man, or throw it to second base. But on fly balls, or balls that go in the corner, my point is, wouldn't it be better to have a 23-year-old with a lot of upside playing that, who can hit, than a 34-year-old who can't hit, has proven he can't hit? And at least Dominguez has only had 3 years, basically one. He only played a few games in 23 and 24 because of injury. But last year, he proved he could hit. He proved it this spring. And you pick up another guy that can play defense but can't hit, like McMahon. Can't hit but can play defense. So you're improving your defense, but you can't hit. So I don't get that. I mean, that's the issue that I see. I'm sorry.
I'm in complete agreement with you. I mean, it's
It's mind-boggling, isn't it?
Well, it's no secret. I mean, hitting takes priority over fielding.
No question.
It always has.
It should.
And I think everybody realizes that. But the Yankees don't seem to. Look, I think they really don't want to spend a lot of this ownership. I think doesn't want to spend the kind of money that George Steinbrenner used to be willing to spend, even though they have it.
Right.
But they also want to do things that look like they're appeasing their fan base. If they just did absolutely nothing, that won't look good. So they make these little piddly signings. No disrespect to these players, but they get McMahon, they get this guy. So it's like, look, we're doing stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they know they could do more. They have the ability to do more. I just think they don't want to spend the money. And again, they may be this ownership may be content. Look, the Yankees are one of the best teams in baseball.
Right.
So I think they may be content with saying, listen, we're going to get in the playoffs every year. We'll get past the first round. We may get to the ALCS. We may make the World Series every other year. That's good enough for us. Mm-hmm. If the alternative to that is spending tons of money,
right,
we don't want to do that.
Right.
Whereas the Dodgers, I think their number one priority is win World Series, whatever it takes.
Right.
And I think that's the difference.
Well,
that was always the Yankees' number one priority back in the day.
Right.
And that's a lot of teams' priority. Probably they just can't do anything about it. A lot of teams, they don't have the money to do anything about it. So they make these similar moves that the Yankees currently are making because that's all they can do.
Right. Well, let me show it to you another way, just to kind of jump on the point you just made right there. Okay. The Yankees took 2 out of 3 from the Marlins, right? Last year, I don't know if you remember, but coming out of the All-Star break, coming out of the trade deadline, the Yankees got swept by the Marlins in Miami, okay? The Marlins payroll is $82 million. $82 million, okay? And they swept this same Yankee team that you're seeing right now got swept by the Marlins last year, okay? The Yankees' payroll is $337 million. Okay, so with that kind of payroll, you should if that payroll is put together right, you should be dominating these bottom feeders. I remember my dad used to tell me when we used to talk about the old Yankees of the 50s. He said the Yankees used to play 500 baseball with the best teams and crush the poor teams. And that's what to be a champion, you're not going to beat the Dodgers or the Mets or the Blue Jays every game you play them, or the Red Sox, but you split with them and you crush the other teams. In 1986, when the Mets won the World Series, they won 108 games. They played the Pirates 21 times that year. They won every game. Okay? That's my point. And that's what the Yankees don't do because they don't have the players to dominate those games. Now, if you start losing games to your rivals, you put yourself in a problem. Let's look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers their payroll is $414 million. Now, that's a difference of $77 million from the Yankees. Okay. Now you're telling me that the Yankees couldn't spend another $67 million, or let's say another $70 million, and get 2 guys. They could have easily done that. Okay. You could have got Alonso. You could have got another big name. And your payroll would have been the same as the Dodgers. It's only $70 million. You tell me the Yankees can't afford $70 million? And now you're going to have 7 guys in your lineup that are hitting or have the potential, and just a couple guys that maybe can't. And even then, you could fill in guys that can hit, but Dominguez in there batting 8th or something. So that's my point, is the Yankees don't show me that they, and you touched on it. I mean, I'm beating around the bush trying to talk about it, but you hit the bottom line, is that the average Yankee fan wants to go to Yankee Stadium, buy some popcorn, buy some beer, watch the game, enjoy the game. When they win, sing New York, New York, and that's all they see. But Hal Steinbrenner doesn't really care about winning. I'm sorry. All he cares about is, like you said, let's win enough to make the fans happy. We make the playoffs. Maybe we get to the World Series. Maybe we get to the American League Championship Series. But I'm not going to spend the money to put us over the top. Okay? And the Dodgers want to do that. Okay? And that's the difference. That's the difference right there. So
I don't know if I would. Do you think the majority of the Yankee fans are content with the way things are going? I think there are probably a lot of Yankee fans who are upset with the ownership.
Probably, but see, Hal Steinbrenner knows one thing, right? He knows that, like, take the Marlins. Let's look at the bottom feeders, payroll-wise. Miami, Cleveland. I'm going from bottom on up. Miami, Cleveland, Tampa Bay, White Sox, Cardinals. That's interesting that the Cardinals' payroll is only $111 million. Nationals, Pirates, Twins, Rockies, Athletics, Brewers. Now, there's an interesting story for you right there. The Brewers have won the Central Division 2 years in a row and have gotten, I think 2 years ago they got into the second round of the playoffs. Their payroll is $138 million, okay? Now, Reds, Royals, Angels, so Mariners. Mariners got to the ALC Championship game last year, or series, and 195. I know, maybe so, but my point especially with Milwaukee is, what's the difference? Their payroll is $200 million less than the Yankees, but they must be doing something right. Okay, they're able to do it with that payroll. So the Yankees with triple the payroll should be able to do even more.
Well, the Yankees are doing more than the Brewers. The Yankees got to the World Series 2 years ago. They got deep in the playoffs. They are doing more than the Brewers.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, right?
Yeah, they got to the World Series. I'll agree with that.
What did the Brewers do last year? They got to the...
I think they lost to the Dodgers in the second round.
Okay, the Yankees lost to the...
Blue Jays.
In the what?
Second round.
So that's the same. The year before that, the Yankees got to the World Series.
Brewers got to the divisional round.
Okay, year before that...
I don't remember what the Brewers did that year.
Let's look it up. I'm just saying. That would have been what?
2023.
2023. In 23, the Brewers won the NL Central, lost in the wild card series. Right? And the Yankees
didn't make the playoffs that year.
Yeah, they finished fourth. Okay. But my point is,
I know what you're saying.
I wouldn't say the Brewers are doing more than the Yankees have.
They're doing more with what they got, with their money. Let's put it that way.
Okay, yeah, the money's going farther, maybe.
So that's what I'm talking about, is that if the Yankees were, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if the Yankees were as, and this is a bad way to say it, I just don't know other way to say it, and it's going to come out wrong, but if the Yankees were as smart with $337 million as the Brewers are with $133 million, right? Is that right?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So they should be world beaters, correct? So I guess if I give you a pie, or if I give you a bucket of money, and I give somebody else 3 times that money, I would expect that person to do better with it than you could do because they have more resources. But if they're year after year doing at least as good as you are, sometimes a little better, sometimes a little worse, like 2023, then they're not using that money very wisely, are they? That's kind of my point.
Also, the NL Central is not the AL East.
Understood, but still, you got the Cubs in there, you got the Cardinals in there. You got some teams.
They've blown for you for the last. Haven't they?
Who?
The Cardinals.
Yeah, they've been struggling. Yeah,
like Mark McGwire.
Yeah, and they don't have a big salary either. But look at your top salary teams. Here's another problem for the Yankees. This maximizes it. Out of your top 6 teams, salary payroll wise, okay, 3 of them are in the American League East: Yankees, Blue Jays, Red Sox. So not only are you not using that money wisely, your 2 teams in your division have as much money as you do to spend, and they're in your division. So you got to be even better than they are as how you spend it, okay? And I would argue the Mets are as bad as the Yankees. Their payroll is better than the Yankees. They're second highest, $375. They're not doing squat with their money. But look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers obviously are doing something right. So, again, it's early, but I'm going to make a prediction, okay? And let's remember this prediction. The Yankees won 94 games last year, finished second to the Blue Jays because they lost the tiebreaker, all right? Ended up beating the Red Sox. Luckily, if it wouldn't have been for Cam Schlittler, they would have lost that series and been out. Lost to the Blue Jays badly in the division series, 4-1, okay? So I'm going to make a prediction that the Yankees will win probably 95 games. They might even win close to 100, okay? But they're not getting past the divisional round. They're not going to, because they don't have the team to do it, right? They just don't. And I don't see anything really changing. I mean, look at Grisham. Or not Grisham, but look at Chisholm. Chisholm boasted that he's going to go 50-50 this year. If you're going to boast that, you better come out of the gate red hot, okay? He didn't come out of the gate red hot. He came out, he's just not hitting. So you tell me he's going to hit 50 home runs this year, he says. And I don't see that happening. So, again, I just don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see it. So I say they'll win a lot of games, maybe more than last year, but they're not going to get past the division round. It's not going to happen. I don't see it happening. So that's kind of my issue with the Yankees. I know we got a little off track there because we were kind of talking about the Marlins series, but so that was the first game of the Marlins. Again, they came back in game 2 to win at 7-6, which was good. Fried, as I said, did not have as good an outing in that game as he did in his previous 2, but he was okay. He gave up 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, which really hurt him. But the Yankees were able to come back and win that one. The bullpen wasn't bad except for Jake Bird. Now, there's another story for you. Let's look at who the Yankees picked up in the offseason, okay? They picked up Caballero. They got McMahon. They got Ahmed Rosario. They got this Doval guy, relief pitcher from the Giants. They got Bednar from the Pirates to be their closer. They've got this Jake Bird guy from the Rockies. Bednar's been pretty good, okay? I mean, he's pretty good. But Doval, as I said, didn't pitch well last year, pitched well in the first series, hasn't pitched well since. Bird, they had to send him to the minors last year. That's how bad he was. And this year, he's not any better. Caballero's not bad. Rosario's not bad, but they're backups, okay? They're backups. They're not frontline players that you got. So really, let's look at your starting lineup. I mean, you got Bellinger in left, Grisham in center, Judge in right. Bellinger and Judge are going to be fine, okay? Judge may not hit 321 this year, but he's going to be fine, okay? Bellinger, same thing. He's going to be fine. He'll hit 280, all right? He'll give you a bunch of home runs. He'll be fine. He's a great outfielder. So he's got it all, okay? Grisham, I'm sorry, I don't see it. He hit 34 home runs last year. I guarantee you he doesn't hit 34 home runs this year. He might hit 20. All right, he might hit 15. But I don't see him having the year he had. And the Yankees' mistake there, they gave him a qualifying offer. And he accepted it. Well, sure he would. $22 million. I'd accept it too. Off of one career year. So those are your starters in the outfield. You got Ben Rice at first base. No problem with him. My problem is with the fact he shouldn't be at first base. He should be catching. You got Chisholm at second base. I've said this all along. I'm not blowing a new horn here. I said it last year. I think he's a joke, okay? Yeah, he went 30-30 last year. Yeah, he's going to run into some home runs. But, if I'm in a pressure situation, I don't want him up. Shortstop is a mess, all right? We know the story with Volpe. He'll be back soon. He'll be back in the lineup. He won't hit. It'll be the same thing. Caballero, I thought might be a better result, but he's, like I said, he's a backup, okay? And you got third base, you got McMahon, all right? If he's your third baseman, why isn't he playing every day? They've already given him 2 days off early in the season. Why is that? Possibly because he's not hitting, okay? They got Ahmad Rosario playing third base tonight. So, and then you got Austin Wells catching, who's not hitting. So that's your lineup right now. And basically what you've got, okay, and this is my opinion, you've got a center fielder who should be a backup. You got a third baseman who should be a backup. You got a shortstop who should be a backup. And you got a catcher who should be a backup. So you got basically 4 of your 8 guys, right, should be backups because I'm not counting the pitcher. So 50% of your lineup that you trot out there most of the time should be backups. To me, that's not a championship team, okay? That's a team with some good guys, with some really great guys, and some good guys who, occasionally they'll do something that's going to get you into the playoffs. That's about it. So there you have it. That's my opinion. Anyway, so the Yankees win Game 2 with the Marlins 7-6. They lose Game 3, as we talked about. They lose Game 3 7-6 as the Marlins come back to beat them. They win Game 2 9-7. So we'll see what happens. They're 7-2 overall going into tonight's game. They're playing the Athletics. Let's see what the score is right now. The Yankees are losing 3-1 in the bottom of the fourth. 2 outs, nobody on base for the Yankees. Cam Schlittler has pitched 4 innings, given up 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, but not exactly the stellar outing that he's had his first 2 starts. So there you have it. I mean, if they lose tonight, they'll be 7-3 against a team that really they should beat every time they play them, in my opinion. So that's the state of the Yankees right now. We'll be back with you at the conclusion of the Athletics series. The Yankees opened it tonight. They'll play another game tomorrow. Warren's going to pitch for the Yankees, Severino for the A's. They'll close the series out on Thursday with an afternoon game. And then Friday, the Yankees will go to Tampa to start a series against the Tampa Bay Rays. So we'll see how things progress here as the season goes along. Remember my prediction. I mean, again, I'm going to predict that your top 5 guys in the lineup, I'm going to say 4 because I don't think Grisham's not going to have that great of a year. Judge, Bellinger, Stanton, and Rice will have really good years. They'll probably hit, if not 300 for Bellinger and Judge, close to it. Stanton, the way he's going, could hit over 300, but I think he'll probably be right around 290, 300, and Rice should be right around 300 as well. And then the guys below that, I'm going to predict they're going to end up 220, if lucky, probably less than that for some of them. Now, the wild card in all this, though, is the pitching, right? I mean, if Cole comes back and is even close to the old Cole, and Rodon comes back and has a year like he had last year, and Fried and Schlittler are playing pretty well, you're going to have 4 quality starters, okay? And I think that could be a difference in getting them over a hump maybe in the second round of the playoffs. But in the American League Championship Series, unless you get lucky and face the Indians like they did 2 years ago, you're going to end up facing a really, really good team. And I don't think the Yankees have the bats. Because remember, in the playoffs, good pitching is on both sides. And that's something the Yankees couldn't handle last year. So we'll see. So that wraps it up. Yankees are 7-2 right now, losing right now to the Athletics, possibly going to 7-3. But we'll wrap up that series after it's over. Hope you enjoyed this. If you like us, hit like. Give us some responses if you have them. Remember to look at our shorts on the Press Box Podcast YouTube channel. We do lots of those as well. We'd love to hear from you. Hope you come back and join us again on A New York State of Mind. For Nathan, I'm Ralph, and we'll see you next time.